And then we'll start on our backs. So as you bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Let your knees drop in towards one another. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up towards the sky. Cross your arms over your chest and give yourself a hug. And as you take a moment here, feel the drop of your arms heavy in your shoulder sockets. And take an inhale, breathe wide across the back of your ribs. And as you exhale, just anchoring the ribs down towards the earth. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, and then switch the cross of your arms, give yourself a hug the other way. And again, as you inhale, breathe wide across the back of your chest, and use your exhale to just anchor and feel the weight of your ribs heavy. And if you can, your fingers will slide to the inner borders of your shoulder blades, so you can just widen across the back of your chest. We're going to keep our arms like this, with your feet as wide as the mat. Just let your knees drop over to one side, whether it's the right or the left. Just knock your knees over, and notice how the ribs lift. Try to anchor that opposite shoulder, the opposite ribs down into the floor. And then press into your feet, use your exhale, bring your knees back to center. And now anchor into the one side as you drop your knees to the other. So trying to stabilize the upper chest while the legs and the hips follow into the twist. And then exhale, come back to center. You guys, go ahead and come into happy baby. Grab a hold of behind your thighs or the outside edges of your feet. And it's not so much pushing the knees towards the floor, but rather, can you send your hips towards the floor? And maybe even give yourself a little rock and roll side to side, even here. And then let's come into thread the needle. We'll cross the right ankle over your left leg. Squeeze the knees in, feel the weight of your hips heavy. And then place that left foot to the floor. You're going to open up your arms into a cactus shape. And then let your knees drop over, let your right foot roll over towards the left. Open up the shoulders, feel the weight of the right ribs heavy towards the earth. And then use your exhale, come back to center. We'll pass through happy baby. And then just switch the cross of the legs. So left ankle over right thigh. And again, just like happy baby, it's not about bringing the knees close towards you, but rather send your hips more forward. Feel the weight of your tailbone heavy towards the earth. Soften the shoulders and still breathe across the back of the chest. And then place your right foot to the floor. Open up the arms. Let your left foot roll over towards the right hip. So the left knee stays lifting towards the sky, and there's this sense of dropping your left hip down. It won't get to the floor, but you still just feel that sense of opening through the left side waist. And then exhale, come back to center. Beautiful, you guys. Go ahead and hug both knees into your chest. And as you squeeze your knees inside your arms, take a big inhale, and then curl yourself up, reach and grab a hold of the outside edges of your feet. So your knees are inside your arms, flex your feet so your toes are reaching towards the sky, and then kick your heels forward. Try to straighten your arms, and then try to move your knees forward over your hips so your upper chest will rise. Lifting the shoulders, the head will lift, the shoulders will lift. Keep pushing your feet forward. Knees are trying to move over your hips. Lift the shins so they're parallel towards the floor. Keep kicking the legs towards your hands. And now stay here and reach both arms forward. And if the knees aren't over the hips, then move the knees a little further forward over those hips. Beautiful, you guys. Let's point the toes. And as you point the toes, can you move your knees a little further forward, maybe even past your hips? And as you do that, reach through the fingers, lift your chest a little bit higher. Take another full inhale, lift the chest, and then lower and hug your knees down. Good, little rock and roll side to side. This time come into an on your back tabletop. So knees over the hips, arms straight up towards the sky. And take a moment here, and as you exhale, drop the ribs down towards the floor again. So we're gonna keep the knees bent. As you inhale, right arm's gonna go back, left foot is gonna try to tap the floor. And then use your exhale, bring everything back to center. Inhale, left arm, right foot. So keep their leg bent. And the slower you go, the more control you have to find your center. Keep the knees right over the hips. Inhale, right arm, left leg. And then exhale, pull in. And again, left arm, right leg. Go slow. There's no rush here. We have all day. And exhale. Was that a bad joke? Let's do one more round. Inhale, right arm, left leg. The slower you go, the more control you feel. Anchor the ribs to the earth. Exhale, pull in. And left arm, right leg. And exhale, curl up. Good. Hug your knees into your chest, you guys. Rock yourself up. Come onto your hands and knees. And then we'll just begin with a couple rounds of cat-cow, but I'd love you to turn your hands back so your fingers reach towards your knees. And then oftentimes when we do that, our knees and our hands come closer together. So walk your knees back. Then bend your elbows and pull your shoulders back. And let's do cat-cow with our hands like this. Inhaling. And feel the doming, rounding as you exhale. Shoulders open as you inhale. Press down and round as you exhale. We'll take just a couple more rounds. Can you put attention into your feet? For the tops of the toes anchoring, the shins heavy. Breathe across the back of the chest. A little bit more, Alex, on your exhale. Dome and round. Think like a Bakasana here. Good. And then come into a neutral spine, you guys, flat back position. Turn your hands to face forwards. Make sure your feet are in line with your knees. And then I stole this from Heather Seiniger, an amazing yoga teacher. With your feet pressing on the floor, your hands pressing into the floor, can you lift your knees an inch off the mat? So she just took what I usually do and added it on. Notice how this feels for you. As you press down into the tops of the feet, yes, hug your ankles in. Feel it like you had a block between your thighs and zipper the inner thighs up to your navel. Try to scoop and round your low back so their tailbone's heavy, your frontal hip points are lifting. And then can you keep this and gaze your chest forward? Beautiful. And then lower your knees back down to the floor. Curl your toes under, lift your knees just an inch off the mat. Stay here, and then send your hips way back towards your heels. So now you're in like a hovering child's pose. Push the floor away with your hands, ankles hugging, inner thighs pulling back. Now stay this far back and come into downward facing dog. Exhale. Beautiful. Rise high up onto the toes of the feet. As you exhale, bend one knee, reach the other heel to the floor. Just take a breath behind your straight leg. And then inhale, let's rise up again. Exhale, we switch. Let's do it again. Inhale, rise, get really high. Exhale, switch. And whichever leg you have bent, can you push that thigh further back? And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, switch. And so if whatever leg is bent, push that hip way back. And then get really high up onto the balls of the feet. Lift the heels so high that you're pushing the heels up. And then keep your heels this high, bend your knees a lot. Send your hips back over your heels again. This time, shift forward into your plank pose as you inhale. A couple breaths right here. Make sure the shoulders are stacked right over the wrists. Adjust as you have to. I want you to feel the feet press so much so that you feel the tops of your thighs lifting. Good. And then slide your tailbone towards those heels. So there's an active sense of your hip points lifting towards your navel. Take another full inhale here. Arms are straight. And then let's go back to that little hovering child's pose. So as you exhale, bend your knees, hips way back. Feel the press of the hands. Feel the lift of the bottom ribs. Shift forward into your plank as you inhale. Strong legs. Spread across the shoulders. And as you spread across the shoulders, give a little bit more lift up through the side waist. Extend your right leg back behind you. Take an inhale with your right leg up, and then as you exhale, bring your right knee outside your right arm. Good. Try to keep the shoulders moving back, like you could drag your hands towards your feet. Three-legged dog, lift it all the way up and back. Go ahead and open up your hips, bend your knee if that feels good, and keep lifting up through the left side of the waist. Arms are straight as you square everything back off to center, and downward facing dog, exhale. Rise high up onto the balls of the feet again. Bend your knees a lot, send your hips back towards your heels, that little hovering child's pose position. Press the hips back as you shift forward into your plank. Inhaling, beautiful work. And again, feel the lift through the sides of the waist. Take an inhale here, hover your left leg. Reach the left leg back. Try to stretch it away from you. Keep spreading across the shoulders. And then exhale, bring your left leg outside your left arm. Shoulders stay dragging back, sides of the waist stay lifting. Inhale, three-legged dog. Lift it all the way up. Feel free to bend your knees, open up your hips. And those of you that joined us yesterday, it's that same work in the upper arms that we did in yesterday's class, the same lift to the right side of the waist. Squared off to center and downward facing dog. And then walk your feet as wide as your mat. And then walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet. Grab a hold of your elbows, put a really nice bend into your knees so that you can feel the weight of your arms dropping, the back of the head releasing. And then wherever you are, take a full breath here. And as you exhale, can you release the spine a little bit more and get heavier? Switch the cross of the arms. Maybe you want to interlace your fingers this time. There's a sense of moving your elbows more towards your toe tips than towards your knees. Release the hands down to the floor. Inhale, reach the chest forward. And then stay at the back of your mat with your legs wide and come into a squat at the back of the mat. So adjust the feet as you need to. You can always sit on the block. Try to keep the weight in the heels and squeeze the knees as close into your arms as you can. Stay here if this is enough, or inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, bring your arms back to your heart. Good. As you inhale, scoop and lift the belly. Feel the ribs anchor towards your hips. And then as you exhale, get a little taller with your spine. We'll do 3 more. Inhaling, reach up through the waist. And exhale. And then 2 more. Inhaling. Aurora, is this good prenatal work? And exhale. If you don't know Aurora Allen, check her out. She's really good with prenatal. And then 1 more. Inhale. Today's the shout out day. And then exhale. Beautiful, you guys. Hands to the floor. Straighten your legs. Fold in half. Heel toe your feet so they're more classically hip distance apart. Walk yourself all the way forward to your downward facing dog. Right leg, it lifts as you inhale. As you exhale, you're going to step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. You lower your left knee down to the mat. Reach your right arm towards the sky. Take a twist. Drive the left shoulder onto the back body. Coil your left ribs forward. And as you lengthen through the left waist, can you feel that you're pressing into your right heel and pull your right thigh deeper into the hip socket? Yes. And then release both hands to the floor. Come onto your fingertips, and then we'll straighten the front leg. So your right leg is outside your right hand. Flex through the toes of the right foot. Pull your pinky toe back just a little bit more. And then can you stay here and rotate your right leg open towards the right? Try putting a little bit more bend into your right knee and see if you don't create more rotation, driving that right tailbone down. And then we're going to keep the rotation of the right leg. And as you inhale, bend your right knee, shift forward. Keep the rotation of the right leg. As you exhale, pull back. Good, 2 more like that. Inhale, try to keep the rotation, outer right thigh down. And exhale, pull back with that right thigh. 1 more, inhaling. Nice, you guys, and exhale. Good, and then as you inhale, you'll rotate your right leg back to neutral, bend your front leg. So right toes face forward, plant your hands flat as you lift your back knee up off the mat. And then start to walk your hands as far forward as you can. Nice, Anthony. As you hug your right knee in, do the same work you did before. Try to pull your right heel, right thigh back so there's more work into your left leg. And then, Gary, walk your hands even further forward, you guys. Thank you. And as the hands walk forward, notice your hips move back. So it's very similar to that little hovering child's pose we did. Walk your hands back so your wrists are under your shoulders. Step to downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, step your left foot outside your left hand. You'll lower your right knee down. We're gonna take the twist. So reach the left arm up towards the sky. Drive the right shoulder onto the back body so that you can access the length of the right waist all the way up to the left fingertips. And then just check back in with your front foot, big toe heavy. Try to pull your left thigh deep into the hip socket. And then release, 2 hands inside. And then you'll straighten your front leg. So you're gonna straighten your left leg here. 2 hands are still in plank under your shoulders. And then flex through that left foot. And as you flex through the foot, toes to the sky, try to put a bend into your left knee, and can you slide your left thigh deeper into the hip socket? Keep that and rotate the left leg open towards the left. And use your eyes and just glance at your left foot, your left knee. Is there more rotation coming from the knee? Could you actually create it from the thigh, deep in the hip socket? And then on the breath, you guys, as we inhale, keep the rotation bending the front leg. So let that left knee open as much as it needs to, and then keep it as you pull back to straighten the leg. Good, 2 more. Inhale, we shift, deepen the rotation with that left leg. Keep the rotation as you pull back. Nice, Johnny. 1 more, you guys. Inhale, we shift. And exhale, we pull back. Good, and then shift forward. As you rotate your left leg back to neutral, you'll bend your front leg. Left toes face forward. This time, lift your back knee straight up off the mat. And then start to walk your hands forward, as far forward as you can. And as you start to reach your arms forward, notice how the legs want to come with you. So press into your feet and pull your hips back. Lengthen more through the left side of the waist as you hug your left knee in. Beautiful, you guys. Walk your hands back so the hands are under your shoulders. Downward facing dog, exhale. Beautiful, and then go ahead and rise high up onto your toes. Walk your feet all the way forward to meet your hands. Inhale, come up halfway, reach the chest forward. And fold again, exhale.
Go to the top corner, there's a
Good, let's do that again. Inhale, come up halfway.
Okay.
And exhale, fold. Hands to your hips. Little bend into your knees, lift your shoulders, and inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale at the top. Take a moment to just have your arms by your side. Feel the anchoring through your roots. And as you stand tall, take a moment to lift all 10 toes up off the floor. And as you lift all 10 toes up off the floor, spread them wide, like they could take up space on your mat. And then as you inhale, place just your pinky toes to the floor. And then lift your pinky toes up. Place your big toes to the floor. And lift your big toes up. Let's do that again. Pinky toes down. Relax your fingers. Pinky toes up. Big toes down. Big toes up. Take a moment here. Pinky toes down. Keep your pinky toes down. Can you place your 4th toe down to the floor? How are your fingers doing? Keep those 2 down. Can you place your 3rd toe to the floor? It's possible. And then place your second toe to the floor. So now you just have your big toes lifted on either foot. Feel the energy suck up through the soles of the feet. Without moving in space, try to bring your big toes towards one another and place them down to the mat. And take a moment and just feel that connection to your roots. And since we have some time, you can practice this, I don't know, however many times a day you'd like. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, bow forward to fold. As we inhale, find the length in the front body. Plant your hands as you step back to your plank pose. We'll shift forward and lower chaturanga all the way down to the mat. Beautiful, you guys. Point your toes, hook a thumb behind your back. Try to break the thumbs apart, and as you press into the feet, lift your chest towards the sky. Good, we'll be here for a couple breaths. Slide your fingers towards your feet, and then could you keep the bend into the elbows and lift your shoulders higher than your elbows, Anthony? Let the collarbones lift the gaze forward. And then as you press into your 2 feet and your hip points, can you find the lowest part of your navel and scoop it forward? Go for length. Lower all the way down, exhale. Switch the hook of your thumbs. And as you press into your feet, feel your hip points and your pubic bone. Inhale, lengthen the chest forward to come up. Good. Work the most bottom tips of the shoulder blades to open up the front body. Nice, you guys. Try to lift your chest forward. The height will come from that. And then extend those straight legs so far back they lift up off the floor. And again, keep the navel lifting up off the earth. Lengthen through the sides of the waist. And lower all the way down. Exhale. Plant your hands flat. Curl your toes under. Push your forehead to the floor. Lift your shoulders to the sky. And then with your legs super straight, anchor your tailbone towards your heels. Can you press to chaturanga? Yes. And then all the way to plank. Nice job, you guys. And downward facing dog. Big full breath in. Long out the mouth, full breath out. Good. And as you arrive in dog, little bend into your knees so you can send those thighs further back. And as you do that, lift the frontal hip points, lift the low nelly, that's navel and belly together. Then rise high up onto your toes. As you bend your knees, look between your hands, stepping or try hopping to the top. We open as we inhale, nice Janine. We fold as we exhale. And then we come up to standing, feel your roots, rise up. And bring it right in as you exhale. Good. Again, together, inhale from the ground. Hinge, fold forward, exhale. Open as we inhale. Hands fully flat, plank opposite leg. We shift forward to lower, baby cobra or the up dog. Feel the feet press, feel the inner thighs lift. And downward facing dog, exhale. Beautiful work. Breathing in, shoulders spread. As you hug the forearms in, breathe out. Feel the back of the neck soft. And the sense that those inner thighs are pulling, not your hips up, but sliding your hips back. Inhale, your right leg lifts towards the sky. As you exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. Spin your back heel down to the mat. Let's line up heel to heel. And then you're going to take your right hand inside your right leg. So you might grab a block if you need to. You can come onto your fingertips or reach the left arm towards the sky. If you need to modify, you can always bring your right forearm to your right thigh. So notice if your arm is pushing more into your leg, rather, can you push your right shin into your arm? And then just like we were doing, press into your right heel and pull your right thigh deeper into the hip socket. Beautiful, you guys. And then could you inhale and lengthen, nice Heidi, those right ribs forward in front of the right knee. And if the twist has allowed you to open up the collarbones, maybe you bring that top arm behind you and come into a half wrap. And notice it's not so much about just throwing the arm back, but using the shoulder blades to help create a sense of a twist. And then recommit to the foundation of your front foot, big toe. Drive that inner heel, pull it back to your left leg. Beautiful, you guys. Inhale, reach the top arm up towards the sky. Find the weight of your right sit bone, get it heavy. And then inhale, come up to warrior two. Don't worry about how wide the stance is, let it be for today. Can you sit the root of your right thigh heavier to the floor? And then find that same work of scrubbing your right heel deep into the hip socket. Remember that twist as you inhale above the navel, roll the left ribs, the left fingertips back. Reverse the warrior as you inhale. Pause here for a moment. Recommit to the weight in the front heel. Sit a little lower into the front thigh. And then release. Hands down to the mat. You'll step to your plank pose. Vinyasas are totally optional. Find your way to downward facing dog. And then as we inhale, the left leg lifts. As we exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. Pause here as you spin your back heel down to the mat. Line up heel to heel, and then just slide your left hand inside your left foot. Start to hug that left knee in a lot. Yes, Ash, as you reach the right arm up towards the sky. And so again, you can grab your block, you guys. You can always modify. Find the connection. It's not the arm pushing the knee out, but rather hugging the left shin in, pulling your inner thighs back. And then the more that that left thigh pulls to your right foot, can you lengthen your left ribs forward? Like you're trying to get your left ribs in front. Yes, Gary, in front of that left knee. Then let that twist, roll the chest open and take it into the half wrap. And notice if it's the elbow rolling back, could you actually relax the elbow and find the right shoulder blade and roll the right collarbone to the sky. These look awesome. Nice, Kelsey. One more breath, you guys. Top arm reaches towards the ceiling. Take a moment to feel the ground. More specifically, feel your back leg. Yes. And then with the top arm, come all the way up to standing. Find your warrior two. Last couple breaths right here. Soften the shoulders. Sit a little lower into the front leg so you're not pushing the front foot away from you, but rather pulling the heel back. Reverse the warrior as you inhale. Drop the left thigh, lengthen through the left side of the waist. And then release, hands down to the floor. Step to plank. I would definitely cleanse that out with a vinyasa. And downward facing dog. Beautiful, you guys. Go ahead and shift forward into your plank pose. Feel how the front body lifts to support you. You now know where we're going. Swivel, we're gonna keep both hands flat. Swivel your heels towards the right, and I'm gonna invite you to stagger your feet. So keep the left foot in front of the right foot. You can even walk your feet over to the left if you need to. And notice how the weight is shifted into the right hand. Drive it into the left hand and try to pull your shoulders and your hands towards your feet. Take a moment here, stand into your left foot more, and then bring your right knee to your left armpit. Yes, you guys, and then reach your left arm up towards the sky. You can stay wherever we were. And so as two shoulders move onto the back body, can you try to bring your right knee a little closer into the chest? Squeeze the right knee into the ribs. And then everybody keep your right knee into your chest. You're gonna rise back up onto the toes of the left foot. Bring your left hand down to the floor. Two hands to the mat. Step your right foot forward between the hands. Lower your left knee down to the earth. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Right hand to your left wrist. Take an inhale, lift up to the left hip point and side stretch over towards the right. Even here, front foot. Rather than sliding it away from you, can you pull it back? Work the hip points lifting. And then inhale, come all the way up. You're gonna stay in this low lunge variation. Open up your arms wide like a T. And then you're gonna move into a modified warrior two. So you're gonna turn to the left side of the room. Let your left foot follow that turn. So let your left foot follow back behind you. Good, beautiful, you guys. And then just glance at where your right foot, your right knee is in space. Can you still pull your right thigh back? And then shift forward. You're going to place your right hand again inside, top arm straight up towards the sky. Press more into your left foot. Feel your left toes heavy, your left shin heavy. And just like that low lunge, as you press into your left shin, can you feel your left hip point lifting? And then as you inhale, find the reach of the right ribs moving forward while the right thigh pulls back into the hip socket. Last breath here. Good. And then use your left hand. Inhale, come back upright. We'll swing the left arm forward to meet the right and let your left foot follow. Arms all the way up towards the sky as you inhale. Hands down to the floor. You'll lift your back knee up off the mat. Take a moment here and then stay low as you reach your arms forward in space. Front foot, what's it doing? Ground into the big toe. Yes, Heidi. Hug the right shin in and pull your thighs way back in space. Rise it up to your crescent pose as you inhale. Good. Adjust the back leg as you need to. Feel the same work from your back heel. Can you firm your back knee? Can you lift up through the inner back thigh? And then lift that left hip point all the way up to the fingertips. One more breath in. And then release. Hands down to the mat. Step to your plank. If you need to cleanse that out, cleanse it out. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. Full breath in. Long breath out. Really nice, you guys. Shift forward into your plank pose as you inhale. Feel the lift of the front body. Now we're going to swivel the heels towards the left. Stagger your feet. Put just as much weight into your right hand as you have into your left hand. Take that left shoulder and actively move it towards your feet. Everybody lift your left waist a lot higher. You can stay here, or you'll start to press into your right foot and your left knee comes up towards your right armpit. Check back in with that left shoulder. These look great. Nice, Alex. Everybody pull the left shoulder down the back, Janine. Yes, you guys. And then if this is enough, you stay or reach the right arm up towards the sky. Try to keep that left knee bringing into the chest, like you're rounding your entire rib cage. Nice, Johnny. Take another full breath, you guys. Rise up onto the toes of the right foot. Keep your left knee in, 2 hands to the floor. Good. Step the foot forward. Lower your right knee down. Take a moment and arrive as the arms lift towards the sky. Left hand to your right wrist. Feel the lift of the right hip point as you side stretch over. And so a little bit of work, a little bit of breath, and a whole lot of ease. And so you feel the effort, you feel the release. And then at a certain point through the practice, there's this effortlessness, this ease as we go through harder shapes, easier shapes, and that depends on who we are and where we're at and what day it is. Today's Wednesday. Inhale, come all the way back up. All you're gonna do is open up your arms into a T, and then as you exhale, rotate to the right side of the room. So you're in a modified warrior 2. And then drive into your left heel. The left knee is gonna wanna come forward. I want you to actively pull the left heel, left hip back. And then shift forward, left hand inside, top arm towards the sky. And keep trying to move your legs back into your right foot. Beautiful work. And as you press into your right foot more, feel how it starts to lift your right hip point up. Do you guys feel that? And then coil the left ribs all the way up to the right fingertips. There's a sense of gathering the ribs in even here. Yeah. And then leading with your top hand, inhale, come back up. Good. And as you swing that right arm forward to meet your left arm, let your right foot follow. Inhale, lift the arms up towards the sky. Hands down to the floor. You'll lift your back knee up. Make sure your feet are at least heel to heel, if not wider, so you have balance. Reach both arms forward, stay low. Hug the shins into the midline as you rise it up to your crescent pose. Exhale at the top, really nice. Just notice if you're pushing the front foot away from you, continue to drive the heel back into the hip socket. And then notice where your gaze is. Start to look forward. Maybe the reach of the arms helps you lift the gaze up. And then connect into the back leg. Lift the heel up. Lift the inner back knee up. These look beautiful, you guys. One more breath. Neck is soft as you release your hands down to the floor. Step to your plank. Oh my, cleanse that out. Lower chaturanga. And downward facing dog. Breathing in. And breathing out. Feel the back of the neck long. Feel the reach of your thighs hinging back. Take a big full breath in. Look forward, you guys. As you rise up onto your toes, I want you to hop both feet outside your hands. And then come onto your fingertips. Come back into that little squat pose. Notice how easy this is. And then reach your arms forward, bring your hands to the floor. You're gonna lift your hips up so your thighs are parallel to the mat. Turn your toes to face forward. And then notice how the armpit, I've been calling it the armpit banda lately, and your knee, it's this sweet little Velcro connection, or like a snap. So bend your elbows, find your armpit and your knee, and pull your chest forward. And notice when you pull your chest forward how the knees and the thighs go further back. Could you stay right here and lift your low belly, lift your bottom ribs, and then reach your arms forward in space. I'm gonna get up, you guys are gonna stay. Send the butt down, but lift the frontal hip points up. Now stay low with these wide-legged chairs, you guys, and lift your torso upright. Nice, Anthony. Sit your hips a little bit lower, Abby. Everybody, thank you. And as the hips go low, can you drive the low belly up? One more breath in. Press all the way up to standing. Hands to your heart. Hop your feet together. Inhale, bending the knees, chair pose. Now you have a little bit more joy for chair. Exhale, folds. Inhale, we lengthen Ardha. Hands fully flat, step or jump. Into the backbend as we inhale. And downward facing dog as we exhale. Right leg lifts as we inhale. Exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. Rise to your warrior one. We'll be here for a couple breaths. Find the same work in that front leg like you just did in the chair pose. So sit down into it and then feel that work of pulling the thigh deep into the hip socket. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Lift the chest, lift the hip points, take an inhale, and then fold forward as you exhale, not down, just forward. Let's keep the chest so that it's parallel to the floor. So you're doing the same work with your front body that you just did in that wide-legged chair. Can you drive the heel down? Can you pull your inner thighs back? And can you reach your chest forward of the knee? Take another full breath in. Reach the arms forward, rise it all the way up to your warrior one as you inhale. And then release, hands down to the floor, pause here. Straighten your front leg. And then you're gonna hop the back foot in the smallest amount you need for Parsvottanasana pyramid pose. Come onto your fingertips, grab your blocks. You can always bend your right knee. Continue to pull your right thigh deep into the hip socket. Lift the frontal hip points, coil the chest forward. These look awesome, you guys. Bring your two hands to your hips. Lift the torso so it's parallel to the floor. Reach both arms forward in space. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale at the top. We'll interlace the fingers again. This time, maybe reverse the prayer or make fists with your hands. Both legs are straight. Take a moment, lift the chest as you inhale. Can you relax the shoulders down away from the ears as you exhale? Feel the lifting of the frontal hip points as you stand more into your back foot. Rise as you inhale. And rather than going down, fold forward as you exhale. Beautiful. And as you fold forward, can you continue to pull your right thigh bone back? Check in with your front knee. Notice if it's gone past straight, firm and lift the kneecap. Beautiful, you guys. And rather than the head falling, lengthen your collarbones towards the toes. With that length, these look amazing. You'll slowly start to hinge at your hips a little deeper when the hamstrings, still actively strong, tell you it's okay. So listen to the body, and you will fold because your body says it's okay. Beautiful, you guys. If you're below 90, come up right halfway. Pause on the exhale. Start to bend your front leg as you shift forward, spin onto the toes of the back foot. Big bend into your standing knee as you shift forward into your third warrior. Big bend. Beautiful. Keep the bend into your standing knee. Beautiful, you guys. Take another inhale. I want you to keep your arms like this, and then lower your left foot to meet your right foot. Fold Uttanasana, top of the mat. And those of you that still have your hands interlaced, lift your shoulders, feel the back of your neck soft. It's okay if they got released. Soft toes. And then release the hands down to the floor. Use your inhale, come up halfway. And then rise high up onto your toes. Get your hands fully flat. So you might need to bend your knees. Bring your feet all the way to touch if they aren't already. Try to put more weight into your fingertips. Bend your knees a lot so your knees get into your outer armpits. Lower your butt and come into Bakasana. So remember that knee-armpit connection. The lower your hips, the more your chest has to rise. Squeeze the shins together. It looks beautiful, Heidi. Take another breath in, and then find your way. Maybe jump it back, maybe you step back. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And then left leg, it lifts as you inhale. Exhale, step the foot forward between your hands. We rise on the inhale to warrior one. And then interlace your fingers. Let's just reverse so you have the other pinky on top. Press into your front heel. Pull the front thigh way back into the hip socket. Lift as you inhale. And as you fold forward, feel the power of your right leg. Pull the hips back to your right foot. Continue to lengthen through the spine. Continue to open up the collarbones forward in space. These look awesome. Keep steering your left thigh into your right foot. And then reach the arms forward. Inhale, come all the way up to your warrior one. Exhale at the top. Release your hands down to the floor as you hop your back foot in the smallest amount you need so both legs can get straight. Drive the left thigh in, hug it. And then bring your two hands to your hips. So those of you super open in the hamstring, super bendy, can you create space between where the pelvis and the thighs are? So there's a sense of lifting. Yes, Abby, perfectly, you guys. Scoop the navel, shoot it forward. Then reach both arms forward. As you reach both arms forward, pull the left thigh to the right foot, come all the way up to standing. These look awesome. Interlace your hands behind your back, the same variation you did on the first side. As you inhale, press into your back foot, lift your hips. Relax the shoulders as you exhale, fold forward. And give it time, give it breath. And when we're in shapes long enough, we start to observe the tendencies that our bodies want to do to hold you in place, like that left shoulder. So once you find how the body is quote unquote holding you up, can you release places that don't need to work? And can you choose to find places that need to support you a little bit more? You'll start to fold deeper if it makes sense. Drive into your back heel as you inhale, come up halfway. Try to stay low with your chest, you guys. Spin onto the toes of the back foot. Hug left leg in and shift straight forward into your third warrior. Keep the standing leg bent. Reach more with your right leg like you're going to hinge way back. Keep the arms and then slowly release your right leg to meet your left. Fold in half, Uttanasana. Beautiful, you guys. Release your arms to the floor. Put a bend into your knees as you inhale, come all the way up to standing. And bring it into your heart, exhale. So you're gonna cross your right ankle over your left, setting up for figure four. And then be active with that right foot. So rather than it just hanging out, reach to the heel. And then hug that left standing leg in. So both legs are containing into the mid-body. And then just take your right hand and release that right knee down, like you're ironing out your right quadricep. And then reach both arms forward. Keep your left leg hugging in as you start to sit down into your standing chair. Awesome, Brett. So the hips are going to want to veer off to the left. So I want you to actively plug left leg in again. Then you have access of hugging right leg back to the wall behind you. And now stay right here. All you're going to do is let your torso get parallel to the floor. Just like we did, bend your elbows. Hook your triceps to your right shin and reach the chest forward. Keep lengthening your chest as far forward to the fingertips as you can. As you do that, do you need to hug your left leg in more? Some of you guys are going to stay right here. Some of you guys are going to plant your hands fully flat. Right toes wrap around your left tricep. And then maybe you play, which is bringing your left heel up to your left butt, or maybe you float it back, beautiful work, to Ekapada Galavasana. Left leg can get straight. Those of you that are flying, take it through the vinyasa. Nice, Johnny. And we'll all meet up in downward facing dog, and then hop yourself to the top of the mat for those of us that chose to breathe in the preparation. Come up to Tadasana when you're ready. That one, my breath always gets away from me, so just check back in with your breath. And then when you're ready, second side, left ankle over right thigh. And again, flex through that left foot, reach through the heel. Take your left hand to your left quad, left hand, front of thigh, and just iron the left knee down, not even back. Just release it down. And as you do that, you need to hug your right leg in more. Reach both arms forward, and then start to pull your hips back as you sit into your chair. Awesome, very nice, you guys. Let the reach of the arms coil and lengthen your spine forward. And as you hinge your hips back, let your torso get parallel to the floor. You'll bend your elbows, hook your triceps to your left shin. This is, I think, a very important part. Let your spine move through the arms. Open up the front body like Sphinx. Then either stay here or hands flat, play with the arm balance. The left toes have to hook into the right arm. Nice, Heidi, straighten those arms. Yes, girl. We'll all meet up in downward facing dog, you guys. And then rest in child's pose. Take a couple breaths as you rest in child's pose. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, slow it down as you breathe out. Maybe bring your arms beside you, let the shoulders drop. And then all you're going to do is just slide yourself forward, come into Sphinx pose. Take your hands as wide as you need to. Let those elbows anchor right underneath your shoulders. And then press more into your hands, and more specifically, your first finger, knuckle, inner wrists. And then try to drag your hands towards your feet. Connect that to the opening of the shoulders. And as you open up the shoulders, feel a strong lift of the navel, lifting the back of the ears, the skull up towards the sky. One more breath here. And then lower all the way down, exhale. Beautiful, you guys. Bring your hands to your pelvis, your butt. Elbows will reach towards the sky. Try to squeeze your elbows towards one another. And notice with your hands pushing into your hips, can you reach your toes a little further back? And then lift your shoulders towards the sky. Your forehead or your chin is down, whatever's best for you. Feel the lift of the shoulders as if someone's lifting your elbows. Keep your hips heavy on the floor as you inhale, extend your legs back, let them hover up off the mat. And then push your hands into your hips, lift your chest upright. Continue to firm the elbows into the midline. And then reach both straight arms back behind you. Have the palms facing in. Try putting a little bend into your elbows, and can you lift the shoulder heads a little higher to the sky? Beautiful. One more breath. Keep extending through the backs of the legs. Nice, Johnny. And lower all the way down. Exhale. Beautiful, you guys. Turn your head to one side. And whatever side you've turned your head to, thank you, Rachel, bend that arm and bring it into a cactus. And just take a breath. And then switch sides. So turn your head to the other side, switch the arms. Good. And then again, hands to your hips, your bum, forehead on the floor, shoulders, elbows to the sky. Inhale. This time we'll press into the feet, lift your chest forward and up to start. So feel the upper body lift and lengthen. Very nice. Imagine someone was holding onto your elbows and pulling your elbows back. Yeah, Janine, go for it. And now if this is enough, stay here. Remember the support of the low back. Lift the belly and extend your legs so far back they lift. Beautiful. Now this time, keeping your hands pushing your hips down, can you bend your knees, reach your heels towards your butt? Very nice. Imagine there was a block between your shins. Hug. Reach the inner thighs a little higher to lift your knees higher. Keep your hands on your hips, lift your chest still, and then reach both arms straight back without grabbing anything. I know you want to. Just reach the hands towards the feet. Lift your head up off the floor. Lift the shoulders off the floor. Lift the chest off the floor. And then lower all the way down. Exhale. Beautiful, you guys. One more breath in. And exhale. All right, hands to your bum. Let's just finish this out right here, shall we? Dhanurasana. Press your butt into the floor. Press your forehead down. Lift the shoulders. And then inhale, reach the legs back, lift the chest up. Both things at the same time. And as your head lifts and your chest lifts, feel the weight of your hips. Bend your knees. Reach your arms straight back and grab a hold of your feet. See if you can't grab a hold at the same time. Then use the strength of your legs. Kick the legs back. Try to move the feet over the knees. Use the strength of your legs, beautiful, to lift your chest towards the sky. Include the back of the skull. Very nice. Lift everything up towards the ceiling. Last breath in. And lower all the way down. Exhale. Beautiful, you guys. Little wiggle waggle side to side across your hips. And then when you're ready, you'll press into your hands and knees. And come into tabletop position. And downward facing dog as you exhale. And then take a shorter downward dog and even take your feet wide. With your right hand, grab a hold of the outside of your left ankle, left knee. Release that hand, switch sides, second side, left hand to your right. And pull the left hip back a little bit more. and then left hand down to the floor. So I'm going to invite you guys to come into a hip opener. So maybe single pigeon feels good for you. Maybe you prefer to come onto your back for thread the needle, or stack your shins for double pigeon. So find something where you get a sweet stretch through the outer hips. You can even do Gomukhasana and cross at both knees. Just notice which leg you have in front or on top as you fold forward. Whichever variation you're in, give a sense of energy through your feet so that there's this congruency through the knees and your hips. Heidi, roll the left chest forward. Yes, keep going with that. And then soften the shoulders. Take a big full breath wherever you are. And just let it go out the mouth as you exhale. And slowly transition over to the second side. And when you're ready, this side will feel different as you fold and release. Connect into the ground. And connect into the sensation that the body is saying to you. And gently roll yourself all the way up. If you're on your back, stay there, reach your legs to the sky. If you're seated, let's just fold forward into Paschimottanasana. So inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, fold in half. And doing this on your back with the legs to the sky, reach through the heels. Wherever you are, soften your shoulders. And give yourself a final breath. And then slide your way onto your backs. Check in if you need a final twist, if you're ready for Shavasana. And as you lay back, take a full breath in through the nose. Long exhale out the mouth. Let's just do that again, you guys. As you breathe in, full inhale. Let the body soften as you exhale. And then one more, bigger, fuller breath in. This time, keep the mouth closed, gently let it go. Set yourself up sweetly to just rest here, to just breathe here. Slowly start to deepen your breath. And place your hands over your front body and just allow your breath to come back to the physical. As you're ready, bend your knees and gently roll yourself over to one side. And as you press yourself up, kind of linger in this quiet Shavasana-like place. And just take a moment, if the eyes are open, or have a soft gaze. If you can, with the eyes closed, linger within. Lean back into the support of the practice. Lean back into the support of your breath. And although we're not in a room together, we are in community as one. So just feel that. Feel that sense of support with all of our loved ones and our neighbors. And gently bring the hands together. May there be peace in our hearts. May there be peace in our homes. And may there be peace in the world. Namaste.